Welcome to our Sports Analysis Network special, in-depth edition. We are providing you with breaking news that has swept the tennis community off its feet. A narrative that skillfully unites the spectacular, indisputable development of a new generation of tennis talent with established tennis royalty. The Middle East Swing is one of the most demanding, esteemed, and high-stakes events of the whole tennis calendar, as anyone who has been following the Women's Tennis Association Tour knows. With its recent conclusion, the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships, a top WTA 1000 event, left us with narratives that will be debated for years to come. Two outstanding athletes at radically different phases of their careers are at the core of this enormous media frenzy. American powerhouse Jessica Pegula, the recently crowned Dubai Open winner, and the innovative 19-year-old Filipina sensation Alexandra Eala. This is the headline that is now going viral on all of the main social media platforms. Alexandria has taken the Dubai Open winner by surprise, and Jessica Pegula has formally shown a great deal of interest in protecting Alex's extraordinary renown, her enormous fan base, and her remarkable maturity both on and off the court. We must examine the scope of this story in order to fully comprehend the enormity of what has just occurred in Dubai. This is not merely a tennis match story. In this story, the top levels of professional athletics collide with a cultural phenomena. The world number 5, Jessica Pegula, just defeated Elena Vidalina in a spectacular straight sets triumph to earn her fourth WTA 1000 title in her storied career. Despite the harsh desert heat, the nighttime breezes, and a field of the world's best players, Pegula managed to win a very competitive draw. However, the topic of discussion always and forcefully turned to a player who did not even reach the final when the American champion sat down for a post-tournament press conference while clutching the winner's trophy. It moved in Alexandra Eala's direction. Pegula went on record to give the little Filipina the highest accolades, declaring categorically that Alex is amazing. However, Pegula praised more than just Eala's court coverage and her scorching left-handed forehand. The Dubai champion focused on Eala's immense reputation, the boisterous stadium-filling Filipino audiences that follow her everywhere, and how a teenager handles this oppressive pressure with such great grace. Pegula also mentioned that at night, you could hear Eala's fans roaring from the player hotels. An example of a fervent fan culture that has seldom been seen by the conventional tennis establishment. Additionally, Pegula hinted at the thrilling possibility of having the Filipina superstar as her next podcast guest, demonstrating a sincere desire to comprehend the thoughts of a youngster who bears the athletic aspirations of more than 100 million people. Because it aptly captures a shift in power or, more accurately, an expansion of the tennis map, this viral moment is acting as a huge hook for the international sports community. In the past, European and North American narratives have dominated the game of tennis. However, Alexandra Eala is currently rewriting the demographic and geographic borders of tennis fans on his own. We are discussing a young woman who, just a year ago at the 2025 Miami Open, shocked the business by upsetting several Grand Slam champions, including the current world number 2, Iga Swiatek, who became the tournament's lowest-ranked semifinalist. Eala has now demonstrated that her Cinderella journey was no accident in 2026. She made a lasting impression on the competition and the reigning winner, Jessica Pegula, after charging her way into the Dubai Open quarterfinals and losing to Coco Gauff. Eala is no longer merely a possibility, as evidenced by the fact that a seasoned tournament champion is so publicly enthralled by the aura, crowd-pulling ability, and psychological poise of a young Southeast Asian star. A genuine transforming attraction, she is. From the tactical development of both players to the cultural and economic influence of Eala's fan base to the implications of Jessica Pegula's endorsement for the WTA Tour's future, we will dissect every aspect of this widely shared story. Now, let's move on to a detailed examination of the series of events that have culminated in this historic moment in professional tennis. We must go back in time and look at the common past of these two athletes in order to completely understand the significance of Jessica Pegula's widely publicized remarks about Alexandra Eala's notoriety. The 2025 Miami Open served as the ultimate testing ground for their mutual respect. A competition that will live on in Philippine sports history for all time. Last year, Alexandra Eala entered Miami as a wildcard player and was ranked 140th in the world. The events that transpired throughout those 2 weeks were truly epic. Eala methodically destroyed tennis aristocracy, defeating the defending Australian Open champion Madison Keys, eliminating previous French Open winner Elena Ostapenko, and pulling off one of the decade's most spectacular upsets by sweeping Swiatek in straight sets. The result of that incredible run was a semi-final matchup with Jessica Pegula. It was a pure attrition war in that match. A fervently pro audience at Hard Rock Stadium watched for 2 hours and 26 minutes as a teenager jumped out to an early lead and repeatedly broke the veteran American. Eala pushed the world number 4 to the very limit by playing with her thigh severely wrapped and then rolling her ankle to the point where she said she felt like she was taped up like a mummy. After Eala took the second set and forced a thrilling decider, Pegula's seasoned skill finally helped her weather the storm and win 76-57-63. Pegula publicly acknowledged that she was completely worn out, saying that Eala was a fantastic player who took the ball very early and went for her strokes. Pegula was aware that Alexandra Eala was more than simply a product of the media because of the perspiration and the extreme physical strain of that Miami night. She had a deadly left-handed game and was a fierce competitor. Let's go ahead to the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships in 2026. Each player had a different mission when they got to the Middle East. Jessica Pegula performed a masterclass of a tournament in an attempt to re-establish her supremacy at the WTA 1000 level and win a fourth title of this type. She outperformed Alina Svitolina to win the trophy by showcasing her signature flat, penetrating ground strokes, negotiating challenging twilight conditions, and putting away elite opponents. Alexandra Eala, on the other hand, demonstrated her consistency and is currently a recognized threat, sitting at a career high, just outside the top 40. With the Aviation Club Tennis Center packed to capacity, she fought her way into the Dubai quarter-finals. And this is where our viral story's central plot develops. The mood changed from a courteous traditional tennis gallery to something akin to an international football match each time Alexandra Eala took the court in Dubai. Deafening cheers, a sea of Filipino flags, and an exhilarating spirit filled the stadium. No one on the tour failed to observe this occurrence. During her encore interview, Coco Gauff, who ultimately overcame Eala in the quarter-finals, praised the passion of the fans and specifically thanked Eala for introducing a completely new demographic to the sport. However, the tournament's final winner, Jessica Pegula, made the most insightful comment during her championship news conference. Pegula did not simply respond with a typical media-trained response about a fellow player's serve or forehand when questioned about the adolescent. She provided a very thorough sociological analysis of Alexandra Eala's influence on the sport. Pegula recounted their fight in Miami, describing her complete confusion when she discovered that a whole crowd in her own nation was openly supporting a Filipino adolescent over her. In his candid, unvarnished statement, Pegula said, "I was like, what on earth is going on? Where did these people come from?" This illustrates the precise moment the tennis elite saw the shifting tectonic plates of worldwide fandom. Pegula continued by praising Eala's reliability, pointing out that the Filipino diaspora consistently shows up in incredible numbers wherever she plays, from the packed outer courts of the Australian Open to the grandstands in Dubai. An acoustic monument to Eala's star power, Pegula recounted hearing the thunder of the crowd from her hotel room at night. However, Pegula's analysis of Eala's character is the most remarkable part of her assessment and the reason this story has gone viral. Many young prodigies have been devastated by popularity in the past, particularly the kind of overnight country-carrying celebrity Eala is enjoying. It is a great load to carry the weight of expectations from a whole country that is longing for success in international sports. Pegula did, however, specifically commend Eala for handling the situation with maturity and elegance. Eala, she said, has a fine head on her shoulders. Someone who, rather than feeling overpowered or entitled by the support, is incredibly grateful for it. Recognizing Eala's crucial role in motivating the next generation of Filipino girls to take up a racket and pursue their aspirations, Pegula declared her the ideal role model and expressed her desire to have Eala as her next podcast guest. Pegula is actively working to close the gap between the up-and-coming Asian tennis scene and the more established American tennis elite. She's curious about Eala's mental processes. How a young woman manages to strike a balance between the demanding nature of professional tennis and the gorgeous, chaotic reality of being a national icon. This dynamic also shows how the WTA's marketing and economic environment is changing. Alexandra Eala is a passionate and extremely profitable market. In the past, mainstream tennis programming has neglected to reach the Philippines and the larger Southeast Asian market, which represents a huge consumer base. Eala is one of the most important assets in the sport today because of her capacity to sell out stadiums, command prime-time broadcast slots back home, and generate enormous amounts of social media interaction. Even Jessica Pegula, a very astute businesswoman, understands this. It serves as a huge endorsement when a top 5 player and current champion goes above and beyond to confirm the commercial and cultural worth of a younger player's fan following. It communicates to broadcasters, sponsors, and tournament directors that the Alexandra Eala business is flourishing and beneficial to the whole women's tennis ecosystem. Eala's tactical development since that crucial Miami game has also been noticeable. The fact that she often advances to the late stages of WTA 1000 events indicates that her baseline game is stabilizing, even though she lost badly to Coco Gauff in the Dubai quarterfinals. She is adjusting to the physical difficulties of playing against top 50 opponents every week, the demanding travel schedule, and the tactical changes needed as competitors begin to pick up on her left-handed patterns. It is no coincidence that she has risen to a career-high rating in the top 30-some. It is the outcome of intense physical training, careful coaching, and a highly competitive mentality. Eala is respected by Pegula for reasons other than crowd noise. It is born out of the undeniable reality that Eala is a fiercely difficult opponent to put away. It is important to consider the wider ramifications of what this viral moment implies for the future of the sport as we start to conclude up our in-depth study of one of the most intriguing plotlines to come out of a 2026 WTA season thus far. We have seen two very different roads come together in a stunning way. On the one side, we have Jessica Pegula, the epitome of a late bloomer. She spent years working her way up from the lowest levels of professional tennis to the top level, and she is now enjoying the fruits of her incredible tenacity with big championships like the Dubai Open. Conversely, Alexandra Eala, a young prodigy and Rafael Nadal Academy alumnus, made her debut with a remarkable junior career and is currently converting that enormous potential into real, game-changing outcomes on the senior circuit. The profound sportsmanship and respect for one another that are on display in a fiercely competitive, individualistic sport where players are always vying for ranking points, cash, and historical significance are what make this story so captivating and the reason it has drawn millions of viewers worldwide. When a champion like Jessica Pegula uses her platform and her moment of success to highlight a younger challenger, it is quite refreshing. Pegula didn't need to discuss Eala's admirers. She didn't need to commend Eala for her maturity. It would have been easy for her to keep the entire attention on her own arduous triumph over Svitolina. However, Pegula displayed the exact kind of poise and leadership that made her one of the most regarded people in the locker room by deciding to speak so highly of the Filipina adolescent. She admitted that the rise of captivating, crowd-drawing athletes like Alexandra Eala is crucial to the sport's survival, development, and future. This public support from a current WTA 1000 champion is both a source of affirmation and a strong source of inspiration for Alexandra Eala. It demonstrates that her influence goes well beyond the boundaries of her native nation. She is more than just a Filipino celebrity now. Her colleagues at the top of the game acknowledge her as a worldwide tennis phenomenon. Eala carries with her the knowledge that she belongs in these stadiums as she departs a Middle East tour and gets ready for the demanding clay and grass court seasons that lie ahead. She also brings with her the experience of making it to another deep quarterfinal and the precious ranking points. In addition to her physical stamina and tactical maturity, she is getting closer to the top 10 in terms of tennis skill. She will undoubtedly be followed by the throng to North America, Europe, and back to Asia. How she continues to transform that tremendous pressure into the amazing tennis that we all know she is capable of creating will be the true test. Pegula and Eala's viral exchange serves as a lovely reminder of the purpose of athletics. We look for the obvious athletic talent. Yes, but we also see interpersonal relationships, the passing of the mantle, and cultural events that go beyond the confines of a straightforward game. Jessica Pegula solidifies her position as a top player on the hard courts by leaving Dubai with the hardware. With a new career high ranking and the unwavering devotion of a nation that clings to her every forehand, Alexandra Eala departs Dubai with her head held high. Every tennis fan should be excitedly awaiting the possibility of these two players getting together on a podcast to talk about the struggles, the victories, and the ridiculous realities of international celebrity. The rising star who is now creating a brand new playbook for what it means to be a worldwide athletic icon will meet with the seasoned veteran who has it all figured out. We appreciate your participation in this extremely in-depth analysis of the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships viral news. We have discussed this amazing story's history, match play, psychological aspects, and enormous cultural significance. As Jessica Pegula and Alexandra Eala advance toward the upcoming Grand Slams on the calendar, we will keep an eye on their respective paths.